Spencer,
Henry.
how's it going?
It's going great, man. How are you doing?
I'm not bad. You make any money last night?
I did actually. I went
really?
North Carolina plus 4.5.
I stayed away. I never actually made any bets. When North Carolina was up by a lot before they blew that lead, I was sitting there thinking like, okay, you lose so much money betting on teams when they're down by a lot, just taking that money line and betting on a comeback.
Yep.
Don't do it again. Like it has not been healthy recently. If that's the one that would have paid for all the losses.
Yeah, you talked yourself out of it, but that was one of the ones that, like, even halftime. Well, the last two games Kansas played, it was like they were like, okay, are they going to lose now? And then the second half, they were just ungodly.
It's true.
And I saw the stats at halftime. They were talking about it. They were like, oh, Kansas in the last 2 second halves, and just sick numbers. And I was like, well, is it going to happen again? Dude, the live lines on that, 500 money line, and I'm kicking myself.
I know.
Taking it.
I feel so dumb.
I took UNC at plus 300 when they were down 5 in the first quarter.
Okay, couple questions. So wait, when Kansas was down?
No, when UNC was down,
Okay.
they were down by 5 points in the first minute.
Okay.
And I took it at plus 300.
And also half, not quarter.
Yeah, first
Okay.
quarter.
The first quarter of the game in the first half.
I didn't even watch the game. I was just live betting at the they were coming in.
Nice. Yeah, I mean that's a move. Live
Live
betting
betting
college basketball in general. That's how you do it.
Runs. Yep.
Seriously. And I never cash anything out, which is kind of a flaw. But in these situations, it makes sense not to, because so often they wind up making money. I don't know. Ooh, we say Austin Novak plus 365, plus 385. There we go. My eyes are not good.
Half, yeah, that's absolutely well done, Austin. Well done.
That was very well done. Also got somebody in from Serbia. We love Serbia. I don't get anybody who watches me from Serbia. Because like the Buffs, there's nobody cares. Are there Serbians who listen to the golf stuff?
You know, I think there's a few
Okay.
international listeners, not a ton.
What's the golf scene like in Serbia? Do you know?
There's like one golf course. It's like
that's
it's like
too bad.
There's a few cities and countries in Europe that golf is like prevalent, obviously,
Okay.
but mostly it's kind of a sad overall scene in general.
Are there any golfers from Serbia who are notable?
Not notable, not on the PGA Tour.
Huh.
There's a few from, there's obviously there's a huge presence in the UK,
Yep.
Ireland, Scotland, stuff like that, but not Serbia, not the Middle East, if you will. I'm don't know if that's I'm horrible at geography. I may be the worst geography person in the world.
Really?
I literally couldn't tell you half the states of the United States. Like
Wow.
looking at them, I don't.
We need to dig in on that at some point. We need to play some geography games.
I will lose
Have
everyone.
you tried Wordle?
No. I've
It's
just
hard.
hopped into the Wordle game.
Oh, really?
And I love Purtle. Purtle is great.
I don't watch enough basketball. That's too hard for me. There's too many players that it's just like, what position, what team are you on right now?
Exactly.
They move so much.
Just the guessing part is fun for me.
I started playing Set a Quordle.
What is that?
It's 16 different Wordles. But, so every guess you have, it counts for all 16 games. So they all go simultaneously, and you get 21 guesses.
Okay.
So you have to get 16 words and 21 guesses. There's 5 that you can have that don't miss, but it's the same thing.
So harder or easier than Wordle?
It's harder. Well, it's less frustrating, I think. Because in Wordle, you get to the point where it's like, I just can't think of a word where this makes sense. And sometimes you sit there for like 10 minutes and you're just like, so that has that. But other than, it's probably harder. It's just not so frustrating.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. I may have to jump into that.
Yeah. Afterward, I'll show you. We have a lot of Masters stuff to talk about today. Obviously, like I don't say this often. I'm not all that qualified to talk about like hockey or basketball bets. I do know Nuggets and Avs, and that's what we're talking about today. But obviously, between me and you, golf is pretty clearly like the spot where we can make some money.
Always.
Second half of the show, we're digging into that. First, though, big three. Spencer, you can go first.
All right, so my big three, Monte Morris, assist king right now. He didn't score the basketball well against the Lakers, but 4.5, that number seems pretty low. It's usually where it is. But I feel like he had 11 assists, 10 or 11 assists last game, double-digit assists. That crushes that number. I feel like tonight is the Nuggets have kind of gotten back into this, just from my fan perspective, into a shootout level game every game now. They don't really care much about playing defense. They score a ton of points. Monte Morris is going to get 5 assists. You can pretty much lock that one in. I don't love any Jokic under bets. I don't like them. Nobody likes them.
But you took one.
But I took one. Jokic has made 6 threes in the last month of basketball. He doesn't even shoot them anymore. It's not that he's a bad three-point shooter.
Yeah.
He's mediocre. But he doesn't even shoot. He looks off wide open threes for a pass. He's hit 0 threes. He actually, ironically, I tweeted last game, when was the last time, or I put it maybe in the Slack, and I said, when's the last time Jokic hit a 3? Because he made one last game, or so we thought, and then they took it off the board and made it a 2. So he is not shooting threes. He's not making threes. I love this especially at plus odds at plus 140. If he makes one, it's like, all right, maybe Yoke is back. It's one of those bets where I take it because I see a trend.
Yep.
And I don't necessarily want to root for that, but Yoke had 38 last game and he didn't make a 3. So he can do that again tonight in a very important game for the Nuggets against the Spurs.
5 games in a row without a 3.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm
wild.
saying. Like I said, I don't really want to bet this. It's just a trend.
It is, and you have to do it.
Oh, he's got to make one because he hasn't made one in 5 games. And look at every game.
Probably
for
said
the
that last
month.
time too. Yeah,
exactly.
Now how do you feel?
I think he has like 5 of his last 12 or 13 games. He hasn't even shot a 3.
It's a lot like the Chargers in my mind, where it's like, yeah, so the Chargers have Justin Herbert. It's whatever. Like, yeah, good team, sure. They've gone to the playoffs twice in the last 12 years. I'm going to keep betting on weird things to happen to the Chargers that keep them out until it burns me.
Exactly.
This is one of those, especially with plus money. That's a great bet.
And then Cale Makar over a half of an assist. I think the ice will be a little more open against the Penguins than it was on Saturday. No penalties until the last 4 minutes of the game, which was crazy.
It's a national TV game. I feel like that's what it was.
Exactly. It was an early morning, early day game for those guys, especially. That's usually nap time. But I feel like the ice will be a little bit more open tonight for the Avs. They have a chance to officially clinch a playoff spot tonight, which seems crazy that they haven't already, but have a chance to clinch a playoff spot. So I think no matter what, I think it's going to be a fairly high-scoring game, but Cale getting an assist is pretty money in my book, being back in Boston where he plays college hockey. So.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
He's back home, if you will. I mean, I know home is Canada, but I don't know if, do you think Canadian guys that play in the NHL have, home and then, where they went to college as a home? Do they call that home? Or is it Canada's the only home?
I don't know. I mean, you definitely have some sort of connection. Do you call that home? I don't know. It probably depends. Also, I was watching a clip of some Broncos slander, whatever, but it was Good Morning Football, and they had Emmanuel Sanders on. Apparently, he still lives in Denver.
Yeah, dude, Denver is we love it. We're here.
Yeah.
We're immersed in Denver and sports, especially as we possibly can be. Dude, people love it here. People stay here. Is Peyton Manning a Colt or a Bronco? It's very clear at this point he's a Bronco.
He was 10 minutes away.
Yeah, exactly. These guys stay in Denver. Danilo Gallinari still lives in Denver, still has a house in Denver. It's just how great the city is.
That is the weird thing, though. It doesn't really translate. Well, it's not that. You still have former Nuggets who are here, but NBA players don't come to Denver. No. It's always it's tough to draw them. It needs to be Miami, or otherwise.
Houston, Atlanta, big cities.
Who wants to live in Houston? That sounds terrible.
I hate Houston.
That sounds awful.
They're actually in Pittsburgh, not Boston.
The East is the East.
Oh Jesus, yeah, that was bad.
There's good people, there's bad people.
They're both yellow and
Yeah, exactly.
Cale Makar.
It's a 20-minute train ride.
Yeah, that's a rough look.
I had tickets to that game on Saturday. CU has CU has the night practices going during the week. They also practice Saturdays in the afternoon. So I had a media availability at 1:30.
Oh.
So I couldn't go to that game.
Game at 1:30.
And it was a great game. It was an insane game.
Fun. I drank from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. that day.
I'm so excited. Once I get through this football camp, after the spring game on the 23rd, I'm going to all these Rockies games, all these Avs and Nuggets playoff games. It's going to be a wreck. I'm pretty fired up.
That's the best. I had a 2-week span a couple years ago where I went to an Avs or Nuggets playoff game every night for 14 straight days. It was my dream.
That's incredible.
I was peak me, and I will never get back there.
That is incredible. Let's go to my big 3. All right. I've got Jokic over 28.5 points. That's minus 105. He's on his MVP run. He's going to keep scoring. He's going to keep putting up rebounds. The line for rebounds is 13.5. And I was like,
dude, it's so...
Might stay away from that
all
one.
His numbers are so high now. Every number, you just look at it and you're like, well, and then he does it again and again and again, but it's just scary. It's still scary.
Yeah. Well, he had 18 rebounds last game, 19 before that. how can you blame him for putting it 13.5? Still, though, points are a good bet. I mean, he's going over that really consistently over the last couple weeks. Jokic over 1.5 steals at plus 130. This has been like the one consistent bet that I've been making that's been paying off recently. Just running back through these. So 2 steals in the last game. 1 steal the game before that, so it missed. Before that, 2 steals, 2 steals, 2 steals, 3 steals, 2 steals, 1 steal, 2 steals, 2 steals, 2 steals.
So something funny about this bet.
Okay.
My last time on bets with you, I took Jokic over 1.5 steals.
Did you?
It didn't hit, and I'm spiting it now. I haven't even looked at it.
Oh, no.
I don't look at it
You got to
anymore.
get back in. It keeps... Actually, maybe don't. Let me have this one.
Yeah, I'll let you. This is all you can enjoy that. I will not bet it, I promise.
Last piece of the big three, we got the Avs money line minus 105. This so the rule is if the Avs are plus money, you take them. Even money, we'll say, is basically the same thing as plus money. So minus 105 still feels like a steal. I wonder what that 60-minute line is. That's what I had for that last Pittsburgh game. And when they tied that up, I was terrified.
The funnest part about that last Avs game was they got the lead, and then the second Pittsburgh tied it. I think both of the game go-ahead goals were within 40 seconds of the Penguins scoring and tying it the first time.
It's wild.
Yeah, so like score, Avs get it right back. Score, get it, Avs get it right back. So that was that was solid. I enjoyed that Avs game.
All right, we've got a bunch of bets we got to give you guys on the Masters. I'm curious what you think, because I have some ideas. Most of them revolve around Tiger, but we can get to all that in a second. Real quick, got to remind you guys that golf season is in full swing, so get in on all of the action on the course with DraftKings Sportsbook. New customers can bet $5 on golf's first major, that's the Masters, and get $25 in free bets for every birdie Bryson DeChambeau sinks in the first round. DraftKings Sportsbook is a top-rated app with tons of ways to bet on golf. Get even closer to what's happening in the tournament and bet on who will win golf's first major, single-round matchups, and more. DraftKings is safe, it's secure, it's reliable, and best of all, you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. So, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now, use the promo code DNVR, bet $5, and win $25 in free bets for every one of Bryson's birdies in the first round. Join the action for golf's first major with code DNVR only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older, Colorado only, new customers only, minimum $5 deposit. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700. All right, time to hit the dilemma of the day. And the dilemma of the day is, how do we make money on the Masters?
I've got a few ideas.
Oh, do you?
Yes.
What's your best idea?
So my best idea is now becoming mainstream in the golf world.
Okay.
And I hate it. So it's making me hate it. I'm still betting it. We actually Mitchell and I put a good amount of money on it. That will pay out probably a trip to Mexico.
Oh, wow.
You don't unit shame. We
Like
don't talk about units.
A good part of Mexico, or like kind of one of the sketchy parts?
There's no sketchy parts in Mexico.
That seems wrong.
It will get us there and back if we hit this bet.
Okay,
But,
okay.
He's played great in the Masters every year. He had a chance to win it last year, and he is our cousin. He has the same last name, Smith. He's not actually our cousin. He has a mullet like me, but I love Cam Smith this week. He's played so well. He's plus 1,400, which is verging on the point of like not betting for me.
Exactly.
Like, we've talked about this, like betting golf. Like, do you look at a plus 900 and think, oh, that's like fun to? It's not.
You don't touch
It's
that.
hard. Yeah,
You don't touch
just
that.
Don't mess with it.
No.
And so plus 1,400 is right in that range where it's making me like a little nervous about betting it still. But it's already locked in. We're locked in for that as our main winner. And there's a lot of the thing about the Masters that's so fun to bet is betting golf tournaments. We do it every week. We find bets here and there, but there's so many different options. There's so many different props. There's so many different matchups. Like I believe 2 weeks ago when we had Scotty Scheffler won the Dell match play. There was another PGA Tour event that week, but there's still not that many things to bet on.
Yep.
The Masters, they're like, go all out. That's
They
what's
do.
great about the majors.
I like it. I mean, we have to start with Tiger. I feel like we got to jump into Tiger. My thought is that if you don't have some money on Tiger in some way, you don't have a soul. Like, if you're not thinking like we gotta get. I mean, even if it's just like the minus 105 to make the cut, you gotta take some Tiger bet.
Oh yeah, and what's crazy about that? So Tiger Woods, as a professional, never missed a cut in a Masters, not once.
He gets older every year.
And it's minus 105. And, of course, he had that interview today where he was talking about, they asked him, he kind of coined this term a while ago when he was in his prime-ish and then kind of getting out of it. He said, I'm paraphrasing here, but he said, I don't enter a tournament I don't think I can win.
Yep.
Which is a very elitist view for him. I mean, he's the best golfer of all time. But like guys like Kevin Kisner have been on record saying like they pay great for 20th place. He knows he's not going to win certain tournaments, but he still enters it, makes the cut, makes money. Tiger firmly believes that he can win any golf tournament that he enters in.
My thought, though, like at some point that changes. Like with the Masters, we get to come back every year regardless. Like I just don't believe that 70-year-old Tiger isn't going to be like going out there just to like get around in to play. And I don't think he's to that point yet, but we've got to be pushing it.
Well, I will say this, Matt, like in 2019 when he won the Masters, I didn't put any money on him, which makes me sick still. I'm still sick to this day 3 years later. That one he was playing really well and playing a lot going into it. So it was kind of, people thought he was going to win the Masters. People bet on him to win it every year, even if he had one leg, they'd bet on him to win the Masters just because that's how it is. But this year is going to be kind of an overarching idea of how the rest of his career goes.
Totally.
Because he hasn't played in 13 months. He almost lost his leg, the whole story. But like this one, it's like, okay, if he like is even in contention, it just goes to show you that he's not done yet.
Exactly.
But if he, and if he misses the cut and plays horrible,
78,
it's like,
78
right,
and heads home.
Yeah, and you're like, are you ever going to win another major again? Are you ever going to catch Jack? Then all those questions start flooding in. And I think it's fair, but I do think if he contends this week, it's like, all right, we've got the Open Championship this year is at St. Andrews, a place he's won multiple times.
Yep.
This can snowball into two very different directions depending upon how he plays this week.
Totally. I'm so excited. I love watching Tiger golf.
Dude,
it's incredible.
I do too. He takes up a little too much coverage, in my personal opinion. But for he's the reason that golf is as big as it is.
Oh, totally.
So let him.
Yeah.
Let him be the reason.
I mean, he was the only player I ever watched when I was younger.
And what was it? 2 years ago, he played the back-to-back Masters. He set a record for having birdie. He was the only player to ever birdie the last 5 holes after he made like a 10 on the par 3 on 12. And then he birdied 13, 14, 15, 16,
It's
17,
just
18.
wild.
And it's like, dude, like he's always that guy's just like pulling us right back in.
It's so crazy. And the other thing, I guess, that stood out to me from this morning was, and there were a couple, I guess, but when somebody asked, like, so when are you going to decide? And he's like, well, that's not really how this works. Like, it's like, I'm playing unless something happens and my leg really hurts. It's not like, I'm not so sure. I'll make a decision at 6 o'clock tomorrow.
Yeah, I can guarantee you this. If he's like verging on the shooting 75, 76, 77, there's going to be a few of those patented Tiger lean over the club, and then he's out. I guarantee it. Like, he's not going to gut it out to shoot 6 over in 2 days.
No,
he's not going to do it.
Well, and that's the other thing, though, is like he says like his swing is fine. Like, there's still some strength that he needs to get back, but it's just walking on in that course in particular.
Exactly.
That could be the issue. And so that's why, we've talked about this before. My strategy is always you take somebody before the tournament, then every day take another. So Thursday, like, it could be in the morning, John Rahm is 2 over through 4, and you're like, maybe I'll just throw something on there when the odds get a little bit juicier.
Yeah.
Maybe you wait till that night, but then every day, including Sunday, which again could be like early Sunday, have a good feeling about somebody, or it's like, coming down the stretch, you're on 17, could this guy make up a shot? Like, something like that. With Tiger, I'm not all that interested in live betting him, just because I think that his best work should be early in the day. And so I mean, I've got to sprinkle him.
Yeah,
like
you
have to sprinkle him.
He's back.
But if you are tempted to bet on Tiger, don't wait till he's 1 under through 5 holes, because the worst is still to come.
Exactly. You want to hop on that early as he gets makes 1 or 2. I just want to see him make a couple of competitive moves at it, like the first couple holes, and just see, because it's going to tell us a lot too. You can see that, like, a guy that hasn't played in as long as he has. Granted, he can go out and shoot, 65 at his home course right now with a cart, whatever, and be fine. But there's competitive golf and recreational golf is so different that, like, he could crumble. I doubt it, but you never know. You just don't know how his body's going to react.
It'd be so wild, because you just know, like, by day 4, if he's out there on Sunday and he's in it, there's no way that leg isn't just killing him. Like he's going to be limping up the fairway on 18 with something on the. I just really hope he's in that situation.
Although the
It'd be
adrenaline
incredible.
could get him through the weekend.
You would think.
He hasn't played like serious competitive golf without his son carrying him in the PNC since 2020.
It's wild.
So,
it's wild. Before we wrap up Tiger, minus 105 to make the cut. I'm going to take it because it's Tiger and I want to watch him and I want to cheer for him. Is that a good bet though?
Well, like I said, he's never missed a cut, man. I think he's one of the few athletes in the history of the sports world that you just don't doubt.
Yep.
Doesn't matter where he's at, what he's doing, you
Yep.
just don't doubt him. And at minus 105 to make the cut, that's literally like saying Nikola Jokic against the Spurs has never scored under 27 points and his number's 26.5. Why would you not take that?
Exactly.
It's
Exactly.
He's never missed a cut there.
I like it. What else are you in on here?
So a couple guys I like this week, Tyrrell Hatton is a guy
okay.
I've been in and out on. Like I feel like a lot of my bets in golf I'm a week late, and it frustrates me. Like I'll pick a guy and then I get mad at him. He didn't make the cut, didn't top 10, and then the next week he ends up top 5ing or winning. I was on Scotty Scheffler in the Dell match play to win. So that was, we've had a few guys that we've had definitely picked to be in the top 10 to win it. A couple of my other bets this week, like I said, there's a lot of props. So you can bet on basically any of the main players. So if you scroll over in your DraftKings tournament props, you can go to, that's the wrong one. Where is it? Golfer props is the right one. And so you can go player X to make an eagle. These are great bets. Augusta has a couple of real gettable par 5s.
Okay.
And so there's guys, John Rahm is minus 175. I'm not interested in that.
Yep.
Like making an eagle, everybody's going to have at least 8 chances at a par 5 to do that. But we scrolled down all the way at the very bottom of this list. Tommy Fleetwood is plus 100.
You worried about him making the cut? Because that's the one thing that would scare me.
Those are the tough part about golf bets. You want them to play 4 days. You want them to have 4 shots at making that eagle. But there's so many good golf holes at Augusta. I think it's number 2. I have to do I always have to replay them in my mind. But I believe number 2 is like a real drivable par or gettable par 5. And in 2, you're like hitting like 7-iron, 8-iron in there if you hit a far enough drive. And there's always the thing about the Masters that's so fun is. It's tough, obviously the players think it's tough. It's one of the tougher tournaments. The winners will still be in the 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 under. But I had a buddy text me the other day. He's like, well, because we did a pool, by the way, get into that Masters pool at Big Drive Energy on Twitter. You can win a free putter and then a free Pins and Aces beer sleeve if you get second place.
Which is awesome because it's free stuff. All you have to do is just fill it out.
Yeah, you just fill it
How
out.
exactly does that work? So I clicked on it. I'm going to fill it out, but I wanted to be educated first. But you have to register, and so I didn't look at the format. How does that format work?
So they have you pick a first timer, somebody that's never played Augusta. They have you pick a past champion, you pick an American, and you pick a European.
Okay.
And so those 4, you get those 4, and then the tiebreaker, which leads me into what I was saying, is it's how many total birdies made by the entire field all week. And I made a horrid guess at it. But my buddy was asking me, he was getting in the pool, and he said, how many birdies do you think the winner's going to have? And I said, probably 20, even if they, 20 to 22 maybe.
Yeah.
Because they're going to make bogeys. That's the greatest thing about this course is even the winner, like some courses, you'll have a winner that shoots 17, 18 under but makes 1 bogey a week. Cam Smith made 0 bogeys in his win when he shot 32 under. He made 0 bogeys the entire week or 1.
Yep.
But this is a course where they're going to make a lot of birdies, but they're going to make a lot of bogeys. So the birdie number, when you go to that tiebreaker, that's going to be a lot higher than my horrid guess, which was 230 or something. I'm like, I kind of tried to say, okay, there's 80-ish players in the field. They'll average it was horrible. Horrible guess. I think 1,000's more a good guess.
Yeah, I think that probably is.
It was bad.
Yeah, I'll throw out Jordan Spieth to lead after the first round, plus 3,000. He's played in the Masters 8 times. He's led after the first round 3 times.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Leader after first round.
In terms of winners, I like all the young guys. I saw this one stat where it's when Tiger won his first Masters, 20 years ago, or 25 years ago. Oof. But
Yeah, I think 97.
yeah. The average age of winners on tour was 10 years older than what it is right now. And
That's
so
insane.
all the
Yeah.
young guys are winning. And so while there's definitely like the trends you look at, like the first time playing at Augusta, nobody's won since like the 70s or something
Yeah.
like that. But I do like Zalatoris, the runner-up. I think that's a good bet. Victor Hovland. Colin Morikawa, apparently he got too locked into playing. I think he said playing a draw. Like at the Masters, everybody says like you got to keep things high, you got to play a draw, whatever. And he said like the reason he's kind of struggled there is just that he got so caught up in that he wasn't just making his shots. And so he's going to come in with a totally different strategy. Good player, a guy whose game should fit this course pretty well.
Yeah, he's just such a great ball striker. That's
Exactly.
the thing. And this course, the great thing about the Masters is everybody struggles with putting. Like the greens are the hardest, probably the worst in meaning challenging wise on tour.
Yeah.
And in any stop, and it's kind of funny because the Masters is the only tournament that over its entire lifetime has been played at the same place every year. Most courses and most tournaments now are in that mode of like, okay, we go back here for this, but like the Masters has been and always will be at Augusta. And so it's that course where players know it's coming and they still sometimes can't conquer it. Like you'll see like Francesco Molinari 2 years ago was like leading the Masters 12 under, and then he ends up going like bogey, triple, water, and that was the year Tiger won it in 2019.
Oh yeah.
And he just absolutely choked all over himself. And so this is like the peak nervous time for all these players if they get in contention on Sunday.
I'm so fired up. This is the best. This is the one tournament that I like plan my life around.
It's the greatest tournament of the year.
Easily.
Yeah.
Nothing
by
else
far.
comes close. Like I was just looking through, I still have the Masters app from last year. I was like trying to find like some video, whatever, and I wound up going to the Golf Channel. But they had, it was just a cut up of every shot from Hideki Matsuyama in his final round last
he was
year. I know.
A clinic, bro.
I know.
He put on a clinic.
And it's stuff like that where it's just like, okay, this course is dope. The course, I mean, Tiger's like the number 1 star. The course is the number 2 star before anyone else. And just knowing what's
100%.
coming is so much fun. You watch it Thursday, Friday, and then in the weekend, everything changes.
And this is one of the things that they've done a better job of this year in golf in general, but the coverage of it is so much better than any other tournament. Like
yes.
you can see every shot, you can see Amen Corner, you can see the Masters app is great, you know, that doesn't happen in the rest of golf tournaments. Like you won't even know you don't even get to watch it till 1 or 2 p.m. on a Thursday in Colorado.
It's crazy. Let's see. Anything else that you want? I know there was some Matt Fitzpatrick hype.
Yes. So, ironically, I love Matt Fitzpatrick this week. Okay. I was looking at matchups, and Matthew Fitzpatrick's matchup is, of course, his countryman, Tyrrell Hatton, who I have in the top 20. So I was like, can I get myself to bet Matt Fitzpatrick against a guy that I'm like putting a good amount of money on? And I couldn't do it. But Matt Fitzpatrick is a guy that game fits Augusta. There's also Russell Henley hasn't played competitive golf in like 2 years, and he's always been good at the Masters. And they have him very, well, you could say right now overvalued.
Okay.
If you look at his whole resume of what he's done lately, and you look at where he's at on the DraftKings board, like they know, they know he's been good there. So Russell Henley's definitely a name to watch out for.
Okay. So I think, just to kind of boil this all down, Tiger to make the cut. I've got Spieth to win the first round.
Love that.
I think I might go with Zalatoris as my pre-tournament winner. Even there was another bet. There was Justin Thomas to have a round without a bogey. I forget what the odds were, but I kind of like that one. I'm distracted.
There is a chance that, I don't know, that scares me in general. Just like any player not having a bogey at Augusta National scares me. Because those players, there's certain holes that it just makes you shot shape so much on every single hole the draw does help, but there's pine straw everywhere and they're chipping at you could see one chip out and there's a bogey.
Plus 1,000 though.
That's good. That's pretty good odds.
I know.
That's pretty good odds. As long as they made it worth your while on that little bogey free round. I love that. But I personally would stay away from those because I'm just scared of the fact that there's a lot of bogeys out on that golf course. There's a couple. I think there's usually 5 or 6 holes a week that average a solid amount over par.
I believe
like
it.
0.3 or 4 of a stroke, which is crazy in a PGA Tour event. But
Yeah.
Augusta, no matter how good the players are, Augusta's always, and there's been some changes to the course too, making it actually a little tougher. And there's supposed to be weather on Thursday, so we may see a rough start to this tournament, like a 3 or 4 under leader. Like last year, I believe Justin Rose was leading the first round at 7 under. And that's normally a score that'll get you, 6 or 7 under will get you there. I do hate when you like have a first round leader and they're leading, and then like some random dude in the afternoon just like birdies the last hole and ties and like cuts your money in half.
Yep.
That's kind of lame.
I've actually had one of those. I can't remember what it was. It was during the pandemic though. There was one of those that happened.
Yeah, and they just come back and you're like out of nowhere. You're like, oh, my guy's leading. He finished perfect, and then there's some guy that burns it up in the afternoon.
All right. I think that we've basically talked about everything.
We've got it.
There's nothing else on your mind you need to get out?
Cam Smith's winning this Masters.
Cam Smith is winning this Masters.
It's so mainstream that it's pissing me off. Like we've been on this dude since forever. We had him to top 10 the last Master or 2 Masters ago, the one that DJ won in November.
Yep.
And he did. And he makes incredible shots. He looks like he should not be out there. He doesn't care. He's got that Nikola Jokic DGAF level where they asked him why he wasn't playing. He's like, oh, my family's in town. I'm just going to skip this week. They also asked him about how much money he's won. He's like, I really don't need any more money. He's like, all I do is buy more fishing equipment. Like that's how low key he is. And so he's always played well here. He's one of the hottest players on tour right now, other than Scotty Scheffler. But like I may regret saying this, but stay away from Scotty Scheffler this week. The guy cannot be any hotter, and he's not Tiger Woods. Like Tiger Woods back in the day, every tournament he had a chance to win. He won like 60% of the tournaments he entered for like a 3-year stretch.
Wild.
I don't think anyone will ever get there, and we always fall into this trap. We've fallen into it with Rory, and now he fell off.
Because we want everybody to be Tiger. We're just waiting for the next one.
We've fallen into it with Spieth. So don't fall into that trap. Like he's minus 1,000 to miss the cut. Like you can't bet on him to make the cut. Or minus 1,000 to make the cut, excuse me. You can't bet on him to miss the cut, but it would be like worth it to me just because the dude's running so hot right now that
it's gonna.
And I'm gonna regret this. He's gonna win Sunday. I'm gonna be sitting there doing our live show after the game, and I'm gonna be like, or after the final round, I'm gonna be like, you're an idiot.
Give me Tiger. Tiger's gonna win,
dude. So Mitchell and I have Mitchell promised to me on our pod.
Oh no.
That like rookie haircuts that they do for an NFL. I get free reign over his head if Tiger wins this Masters.
I love that.
And
that might be better than the hundreds of dollars I'll win.
We're definitely going to make a video of that, of me shaving his head however I want. But it'll make it fun, especially if he's like close. Like because the thing is too, he's got that star power where everybody's going to be following him.
Yep.
If he's close and people hear those roars from like 2-3 holes over,
it's over.
They are immediately iced.
It's over.
Yeah, exactly. So it's great that he's back. It's great for the game, and just the Masters in general is like one of those things. Like, oh, do you watch golf? No. Do you know what the Masters is? Yes. It's that tournament. It's that week of the year.
My girlfriend's dad is going, and she does not comprehend how cool that is.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. I mean, tickets are more expensive than the Super Bowl. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Really? It's a golf tournament. It's like, yep. No, it's pretty crazy. It's like the big one. Oh my god, yeah, I'm fired up. It's gonna be so much fun. Tiger's gonna win. Thanks, Spence, for jumping on. Thank me too. We both are subs. We both deserve to be thanked.
Just
also,
subbing right in, bench unit.
Should be Yaya back there who thanks us. But whatever. That's gonna do it for today. Hopefully, we all make some money.
I don't thank anybody.
Okay, well.
Thank you guys. I appreciate you guys.
Okay, thanks for thanking me. That's gonna do it. We'll see you soon. Bye.